Hi, this is Rebecca Nettles. This is another one of our Crosstalk podcasts. We are affiliated with Compass Ministries. However, this is an independent production. So the thoughts and opinions expressed here are independent of Compass Ministries organization and thoughts. This is content for MKs made by MKs and is part of our online MK community. So tonight we have LIzzy Jacques, who is a missionary kid and a missionary in Haiti currently, and she's going to talk to us about MKs, marriage, and living overseas. So hi, LIzzy. Feel free to introduce yourself. Yeah.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, so my name's LIzzy, and like Rebecca said, I was born and raised in Haiti, grew up here all my life, went stateside for a very short time, came back, married my Haitian husband in 2017. We have a 3-year-old. We're about to welcome another in August, and we're here full time. So I'm really excited to just get to have this discussion with MKs. Like, this is such a rare opportunity to even get asked these kind of questions. So I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not as common, but I think it's going to become more and more of a normal thing. So
yes. I agree.
And if you hear a sweet 3-year-old voice in the background, that is just our beloved Bethany talking. So yes, that is our 3rd generation MK, or second generation MK, 3rd generation possible missionary. We'll see what she decides in the future.
Yes. Yes.
So a question for you, LIzzy. Yeah. Did you ever actually consider permanently moving away from Haiti when you were old enough to decide for yourself, like when you're 18?
Yeah, it definitely, I mean, especially at that time, that's what every missionary kid I knew did, right? Like, you were born and raised in whatever. I'm in the Caribbean, so you follow the Caribbean missionary kids, and that's what everyone did. When they turned 18, they go stateside, they go to college, they work and do all that stuff. So I definitely knew that was a possibility and maybe something I should do. I never wanted to, though. I was like a diehard, passionate missionary kid about the country I was in. I loved Haiti, and I actually just felt very attached to Haiti. And it was funny because one day I was telling God about it. I just love Haiti so much, and this and that, and I want to die here and live here forever. And I felt like God said, "LIzzy, I believe that you love Haiti too much." And when he said that, it released something in me where it's just like, I need to give myself other opportunities, and I need to be open to the fact that it's not just a ride or die or one way in any sense, and so I kind of just opened up myself to be willing to do something new, and give myself other options. And so I did leave when I turned 18. I went to Pennsylvania for a couple months. I went to 2 missionary schools affiliated with Youth of the Mission, YWAM. And after that, I was still open to stay or to pursue other things. But I felt like God was calling me back, and I was ready to go back. I think that's important too. You have to be ready if you're ever going to jump back in. And I felt ready at that time, and I didn't feel like there was something I had to do first. So yeah, I definitely went through that, but I think it was a smaller window of kind of leaving, and then I decided to return, which we don't see all the time, but
yeah.
Were
you ever interested in attending college?
Both my parents never went to college. They joined missions right away, affiliated again with YWAM. And I remember asking my mom that at a young age, did you go to college? What did you do? And she just kind of put this mentality in me that you don't have to go to college. She never said it wasn't important or, to pursue that, but it kind of took off that stigma of you have to do what everyone around you is doing or has done. And so I really grew up with the mentality, and also too, I mean, you grew up in a missionary kid, you know, as a missionary kid, you grew up in like, you don't have a lot of money to like throw around, and you know, you don't have a lot of experiences that colleges would see as scholarship worthy. So to me, it was like, if this isn't going to help my calling or aid in the direction I'm going, then I'm not going to spend the money and the time. And so I knew I wanted to be in missions. I think if I was like wanting to pursue the medical field or entrepreneurship or counseling, like what you're doing, Rebecca, you know, or different things like that, I think I would have definitely been open to college. But at the time, and still to this day, I'm like, there's nothing I want to study that like that needs a college degree. Yeah. So I'm not gonna go just to go, you know. So I think I was, just very not again, I'm not anti-college at all, but I was like, I'm not going to spend all that money and then later be like, why did I study administration? What was you know, so
that's very true.
But I honestly, to this day, I'm like, I'm still open to go to college. If there's something that comes up in my college or the direction or my calling or the direction I'm going, and it requires a degree, I'm like, there's so many options nowadays for online college and different things. And so I'm like, if I need to, I'll definitely jump into college. But right now, haven't needed to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you didn't go to college, you came back to Haiti, and you did end up getting married and are starting your family in Haiti. Is that always what you wanted to do? Were you always planning to have your family in Haiti?
Yes and no. It was a dream that I like that during that time, right? When I was very attached to Haiti, I was like, I want to marry a Haitian. I want to have Haitian babies. I want to live here. I want to die here. You know, that was like the dream.
Yeah.
I just loved Haiti so much. But then, you know, I kind of stepped away from that. And I was at that point, it was just like, hey, whoever fits the calling, where our callings work together. That's what I kind of cared about more. But then I did find my husband, and he happened to be Haitian and amazing. And we have our Haitian babies, and we're living in Haiti full time. So it still kind of manifested itself. But honestly, like, I think it's very significant where you're born. And I did, you know, if I was like, okay, if we're going to be called to Haiti, I would love, if I can, if things are safe, to have my kids born in Haiti. I just think there's a spiritual significance to that. I think there's even practical things like Bethany, she was born 2018 in the capital of Haiti. She can buy land. You know, so it was very important to me. It's like, I want her to have a US passport. I want her to be a US citizen. But I want her to feel like she has claim to her other side of the family, that she has claim to her culture, that she has a stake in the ground. And so it was never like the plan, but I just was very happy that she was able to be born here. We're possibly gonna have our second born here as well due to circumstances. But I don't know. So it's kind of like, yes, I wanted to, but I wasn't like, I didn't plan it either. You know, yes, I wanted a Haitian husband. Yes, you know, it was like, but I never sat down and was like, okay, here's the plan, guys. This is what we're gonna do. Yeah, but I think there's something powerful where you're born. I think there's something to it. So I think it's really cool that we have that in our family history.
Cool. And your husband is Haitian. Did he always want to have a family in Haiti, or did he ever have a dream of going somewhere else and starting a family or a life elsewhere?
He did not. And if he did, we probably wouldn't have been together, because we both, we were friends for a while. And so when we started talking, like actually talking as friends, you know, not just passing by, hi, how you doing? But really talking to each other. One of the first questions he asked me was, do you feel called to Haiti long-term, or are you just here short-term? And that was the exact same question I had for him, because I knew at that point in my life, this was back in 2015, I knew I was here for the long haul. Now, whether we do time's out, that's up to the Lord. But I knew as far as my vision goes, I was here for the long haul. And I did not want a Haitian husband that was like, get me out of here. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go to, the US or whatever. And he was the same. He was like, he knew that he was called to Haiti, and he knew that he was here for the long haul. And he did not want, especially because, I'm a missionary kid. So y'all know I'm American, I'm Haitian, I don't know what I am. But, my status is I'm an American. And he was like, I don't want to be involved with an American that the second we get married, she's going to take me away from my calling. So I think that was like our first, and once we both kind of established that, then it was like, okay, now we can keep talking. So, and that was very important to me. I had people like approach me, and that was always my question. And if I ever felt like, this guy was not in it for the long haul, I was like, it's not going to work out. So I think for both of us, we very much wanted to pursue our callings here and see it through.
Okay, cool. And I'm very happy for you guys. You guys are starting a great family.
Yeah, I will note that. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the news of Haiti. That decision has been harder in the last few years. Like, I'm not going to stand here and be like, yeah, it is. We've had a lot of tough conversations of, do we need to step away? Do we need to, because once you have a child, that was one of my regrets as a missionary kid, is like, I wish missionary parents watch their children too, because the parents can be called, right? Rodberry and I can be called, but our child doesn't have a choice in the matter. And so we have to make sure that she also has the grace and the joy that we're carrying. And so we're very committed now that we're raising a family full-time in Haiti. I watch my daughter. She's so little, but it's like I'm watching her even now. Is she losing her joy? Is she losing grace for things? Is she not thriving? And that if I'm seeing her diminish in any way, we need to have that conversation again, because I think we have this stigma of like, oh, well, if you're called somewhere, God's just going to take care of everything. And he's going to, he's going to make sure everyone's mental health is good. He's just going to take care of everything. You just do what you're called to do, and he's going to take care of everything. But our bodies are a temple, and he's given us resources and wisdom. It's not that black and white. It's such a gray area. And so, we plan to be in Haiti. We have dreams for Haiti. All of our long-term dreams are for Haiti. That being said, especially in these last few years of Haiti just being so volatile, so violent, and now that we have a family, it's like we have to take it year by year, and we have to watch our children, and we have to watch ourselves and take that to the Lord, sometimes on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's very wise.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, learn from experience, That's the good thing about having multiple generations of missionary families. You kind of see, okay,
you're not the guinea pig.
Exactly.
No, that's very true. That's very good insight. So you grew up in Haiti. Obviously, your Haitian husband grew up in Haiti, but you guys don't have the same culture. So what were some maybe specific cultural challenges you guys faced in your relationship?
Yeah, this is a question we get asked a lot, and I have a hard time answering it just because our particular marriage is a unique one in that he was raised a pastor's kid. I was raised a missionary kid. So a lot of our backgrounds and values and kind of what we went through were similar.
Okay.
So even culturally, like even that kind of thing, there was more things that made sense to both of us than kind of were difficult. I think also too, we both were very adapted. So like we both were bilingual, fluent in both English and Creole. We both had spent significant amount of time in each other's culture. We both had traveled, been outside of Haiti, been in, so to be honest, and it might be an unpopular opinion, I wince inside when I see couples who have little understanding of the other's culture getting married. because I'm just like, oh, it's so hard to try and build a marriage not knowing how this person thinks, and even the language. It's like, you don't even speak his native tongue, and he doesn't really speak yours well, and it's just like marriage is already a level 3. You just put it to like a level 7 just by doing that. So our marriage was unique in that we didn't have those kinds of struggles because we'd kind of worked them out just being in each other's culture so much. I would say, like, and again, this is maybe more of a personality thing. Where we struggle, there's 2 areas where I see we kind of can hit a wall, and that would be, he's very optimistic, very laid back, very in the moment, and that is a personality thing, but that's also very Haitian. Rebecca, you would know this, spending time in Haiti. Like, it's very laid back culture. It's very like, hey, it's gonna work out. And I'm a planner, I can be more task oriented and let's get this done, and kind of a go-getter. So we can butt heads in how we process things or how we implement ministry. So working together in ministry, there's many moments when he's like, oh my word, you are so, and I'll be like, you have not, so working together with that kind of like dynamic going on. And then I think the second thing would be mental health. The last few years, God's really been working on and revealing a lot of like my mental health. And in Haiti, mental health it is like the biggest blind spot. Like, it's such a traumatized country, such a dysfunctional country. Everyone's got PTSD. Everyone's been through things, multiple things. It's layered, complex trauma, everybody. But nobody understands. And so they're all kind of walking blind, and they don't really validate it. So luckily I have a husband who's very sensitive, very caring. He validates it, but that doesn't always mean he understands it. So I think, like, if I had, kind of quote, an American husband, and I had a panic attack or I had a PTSD trigger, he would be able to wrap his mind around it a little bit easier, or he might understand, or he might have had a panic attack himself. And, there's more of an awareness there, and also like tools that America, especially now, has just really understood mental health. So I think that's been a challenge. Is I feel bad for him sometimes, because I feel like he's walking in the dark sometimes, just being like, what is happening? And I will be like, I don't know, but it's awful. And so we've had to learn. Thankfully, it's brought us together, but there's been moments where our culture has not helped. We've had to really work on it. Because Haiti is just, they don't, burnouts, there's not a word for burnout in Haitian Creole. There's a word for trauma, but there's not a word for a panic attack. Like, there's just so many things. It's like, that's not even in their paradigm. So that can be very challenging.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So you guys both grew up in Haiti, and you guys had a very unique situation where you being a third culture kid and then him being a pastor's kid had even more similarities. So on that, where did you guys where are you guys really strong and perhaps made your marriage easier? Yeah.
That's a good question. I like that question.
The nasty question comes first and the good question comes later.
Right. Well, what's been so hard? It's like, what's been good? No, I think first of all, like, diversity alone, it brings so much life into everything. Like, when you have diversity in a group of people, in a community, in a worship team, in a marriage, like, it just brings so much life, so much more excitement, so much more flavor, and you make more friends, like, you make more connections. Your worlds open up, like, just in different ways, to different cultures, to different ethnicities, everything, different languages. So I think that is just a strength, just baseline, like, that's a strength. I think another strength is that it's caused us to be so aware and intentional in our marriage. where you don't just go into manual because it's like, oh, we both think the same, we both have the same background, let's just go. But it's being aware of like, okay, there are differences here. Do we want to keep these differences? Do one of us need to change? Do we need to compromise? Do we need to throw this mentality out the window completely? Is this toxic? Doesn't matter if you grew up with it. Is it toxic? Is this accepted in your culture? Well, is it accepted in our marriage? So that intentionality, I think if you're able to have a partner who wants to change. Now that's where it's difficult, right? When you have a partner who's like, I don't want to change. This is how I was raised. This is how it is. Like then
That's always bad.
oh, and I've seen it. It's so sad where one person's like, this is my culture. This is how it is. And it just makes things so much harder. But if you come into it being like, I know we have different stuff and we're going to celebrate this stuff and we're going to throw away some stuff. Man, I think the marriage you can have and the dynamic duo you can become for other people is so much better. But it's going to take a lot of work. But I've already seen that. I've already seen like a lot of dynamics in our marriage just open up more doors and bring more flavor to stuff. Bring more flavor to my family. Bring more flavor to his family. Our kids are super cute. Like cutest, smartest, strongest little babies. So so I love it. I think there's a lot of strengths to have in it. But I think something that if I can say there's one thing I'm the most passionate about would be the whole idea of like kingdom culture. Because and this is why I love talking to missionary kids, because we all understand this idea of not belonging. It's like you sort of belong somewhere, but you don't really belong anywhere. And there was a season in my life, I don't remember how old I was, but I feel like I was a teenager, going through that rough time in life when you're like trying to figure out who you are and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like I would be in Haiti and, there was this, they call you blanc, which is, white person. They tell you, go back to your country. There's the heckling, even with your friends, they're just kind of like, you're not Haitian, you're not one of us, you're American, you're a foreigner, you're this or that. So you're kind of like, okay, mental check, I'm not one of them. They've made it clear. And then you go to America and I would have comments like, man, do you live under a rock? Like you talk different, like your whole value system's different. And so they would call me Haitian. Like I would go to America and it's like, you're Haitian, you're a foreigner, ha ha ha, it's so funny. And it really, in the beginning, you don't really notice it, but over time I was like, I'm really having an identity crisis because everyone wants to feel accepted, but everyone wants to feel like, okay, these are my people. Like, this is where I land. This, like as a bird, it flies, like this is the tree that I land on. This is where I feel like, okay, this is my people, and I wasn't feeling that at all. I was actually feeling rejected by everyone that I came in contact with. And it was just like, man, and there was one time where I was just like, just really feeling hurt, just hurt about it. And God just spoke to me. And he said, you know what, Lizzy, like, yes, on this earth, you're going to constantly have that struggle where you're not going to feel belonging. But he said, when you accepted Jesus as your savior, you became a citizen of heaven, and there's verses, the Bible talks about you're a citizen of heaven. And God says, those are your people. He said, heaven is your home. Heaven is your place. Heaven is your community. The kingdom culture is your culture. He's like, you have a place with us. And like, I get emotional every time I talk about it because that hole literally that day filled. And it was like, I never have to feel unwanted or confused or where do I belong? It's like, that's where I belong. And that's all that matters. And there are times where like, I'll literally feel homesick, to be in heaven. And I've never visited heaven. I've never been to heaven, but it's like, I will feel this homesick because it's like, that is home and that is my people. And I feel like my passion and one of my biggest purposes on this earth is to bring kingdom culture anywhere I go, to be a representation of God's culture and God's family and God's people. And so I bring that into my marriage. I bring that into our ministry, where it's like, I don't care if you're American, Mexican, like European, Haitian. I was like, I don't care what your culture is. It's like, if you become a citizen of heaven, that's the culture that we're aiming for. And we have, it's right behind me. We have, the podcast can't see it, but we have this plaque in our house, and it says, the Jacques family, and we just have these certain kingdom values. We're humble, we're generous, we're this, we're that. And it's like, that's our baseline. It's not just, okay, we're trying to create this Haitian American marriage. It's like, no. We're trying to create kingdom culture. And if there's aspects of the Haitian culture that represent that, welcome. If there's aspects of it that is toxic, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. I don't care if that's how you were raised. That's not what we're gonna be about. And so, that's like my biggest mission, is like forever moving towards God's culture, because that is the ultimate place of acceptance. And that is something that's eternal. And that is something for me that brought so much healing, to know at the end of the day, it's like, that's my tribe, that's my people, is what I'm going to get to experience in heaven. So so that's so I think, like, it's, I'm not saying throw culture out the window. We have to be aware and we have to learn about each other's culture, but I think at the end of the day, you just have to go back to where you truly belong and where home truly is.
Yeah, that's very good, very true.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I told myself, like, don't cry, Lizzy, but I honestly, when he spoke to me that day, it filled something in me. It's just like, okay, I belong.
You got your answer.
So, yeah. And if there's anything I can say to missionary kids, that I think that's one of the biggest struggles we go through, is where do I belong? Where do I fit in? I don't fit in. And we can fit in amongst each other. We kind of have our own tribe, the missionary kids, but just knowing that God's like, I told you're one of us. He's never going to be like, whoa, you're weird, but he's like, you are one of us. You have a home here. You have a family here. You're understood here. It's amazing.
It is. I think that's very healing, because a lot of us MKs, I think, especially those of us who still are Christians and believe in God, we know that theoretically, but it's difficult for it to settle on the heart and really feel the comfort. So I'm glad you got to experience that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's like that whole verse, it says we are now citizens of heaven. That day when the Lord spoke to me, that's when that became real, where it's like, oh, no, that's God takes, like, God's not, God takes scripture seriously, but it was almost like, oh, wait, that's true. Like, God actually, that's how God sees me, and that's the reality. So, yeah.
Good. So what ministry or ministries are you and your husband involved with now?
Well, we were born and raised on the coast of Haiti, in a city called St. Mark, but we are currently in the central plateau of Haiti, in a city called Hinch. And we're currently working with an organization called HEF, which is Haiti Endowment Fund. And we kind of wear many hats at the moment. When there's teams, we host, we translate, we drive. But we do a lot of youth ministry. So I have a dance ministry that I run, throughout the year, and that has multifaceted in it. We have a recording studio. It's actually attached to our house, so there's always music to be heard. So my daughter's gonna have perfect pitch. She hears music nonstop. But we have this recording studio, and when we came to Hinge, we felt like the Lord said, it's time for the people of Hinge to be heard. And I think there's many layers to that, but my husband's gifting, his name's Rodberry, he is a sound engineer. He's an artist himself. You know, he sings, writes music, produces. So we produce and make music for our own music ministry. So we produce stuff that's gone all over Haiti and international and stuff. But we also produce other artists, and we've gotten clients from all over the world as well. So that's one thing that's cool with recording, is if they can record their vocals or whatever, wherever they are, they can send us and we will produce and mix and all that stuff. So we've had people, yeah, from all over the States, Canada, and I think even other countries as well. So Rod Berry's starting to be known for that, for his musical ear. And he can play like any instrument, he can sing any note. Like, so I'm so jealous, like it's not fair.
Wow.
I know God gave him way more talent than he needs. He just dumped like way too much and wasn't paying attention apparently. But so yeah, so that's our huge passion is worship and all that means. So we have a recording studio and music ministry. He also leads, you know, the youth choir at church. He leads a worship team and trains musicians and stuff. And then we do youth camps twice a year. We help with other camps. Yeah, we do Bible studies. So it's kind of just anything with youth that we can get our hands on, and anything with music. But our long-term goal is we want to create a worship center in the Central Plateau. And the best analogy I can kind of give, instead of going into all the details, would be an oasis in the desert, spiritually, a place where people come in and they experience Holy Spirit. They learn what it means to worship, which is to have intimacy with the Father, you know, and know him and worship him for who he is. And so we want to create a place for that, where there's training, even practical training. You know, a lot of times it's like, well, I want to worship, I want to sing, but they don't have the character or the talent to do either. So we want to
they're not living the lifestyle, but they have the talent.
That too, exactly. Their talent doesn't meet their character, and that's not going to work in worship. So yeah, so we really want to disciple and raise leaders. And Haiti, I mean, they are so gifted in the arts, music, dance, drama, anything artistic. The Haitian people, again, God just like dumped extra talent. And so we feel like it's a key not only to reach and disciple their hearts, but we feel like it's a gift that God's given Haiti for the world. And we don't know what that looks like, but it's like we want to awaken the youth of Haiti to their calling, to their destiny, to their identity as worshipers. And I think if they can get a hold on that, there's going to be an explosion. And so so that's kind of our heart, is to create this worship center, and make it, again, kingdom culture.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there can't be worship if there's not kingdom culture established. We're not going to be, you know, singing songs and grieving the Holy Spirit at the same time, and how we treat each other and how we live our lives. So it's creating that oasis in a dry and barren place. So that's the goal, but it's small steps getting there for sure.
So would it be like a compound or like a network in your city?
Yeah, so we would love for it to be a compound. We actually just this past Christmas bought land.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we bought this beautiful piece of land, and we have a full vision of dorms and a center, a dance studio. We want to have staff housing. So we definitely want it to be a place where people come. And we want to do worship schools. We want to have ongoing, you know, dance. We want to have like a fully functioning dance studio. We have a fully functioning music place. We want to have a beautiful recording studio. And yeah, we literally want people to come and be awakened, and then learn and hone in on their skill as well. So we want it to be fully functioning. But yeah, it is very much, I mean, we have the piece of land and it's beautiful. And that is all we have at the moment.
Well, that's something.
It is huge. It is huge how we got that piece of land, and we scrape money. So one thing that's cool is that it's in our name. And I think that's really powerful. No like shame on organizations or something, but when it's under an organization, you know, you just never know what's going to happen with it. And but having it in your name just can mean that, you know, you can really keep to the integrity of what you really feel it's for and not get swayed by what other people want it to be or different things. So that's really exciting. So now we just wait for the next step, which would be to start building.
Well, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We're tired.
I bet. All right, that is all the questions I had for you. So we will unmute the other people on this chat so that way they can ask